Hey everyone, it's Mr. Montgomery. I just want to make you guys a quick math video because I know we only have like a little bit of time during class to like really go over a lesson, and I know we've been going through a lot of different ways that we can add, and it can be a little confusing. But I just want you to make sure that you guys know that even though we learned like 4 different ways that we can add, as long as you pick one way that is your favorite, and you are very good at adding with that method, then I don't want you to stress about anything else. As long as you get that correct answer all on your own, you can use any method you want, okay? And I know a lot of us really enjoy using the number line. So I thought it would be a great idea if I made you guys a little video about making sure we're using the number line the correct way. Okay? Especially after the lesson we had about making 10 on here. That was just a little crazy. Um, but let's hit pause. Let's rewind and go back to using a number line the way we did uh, just a week ago. Okay? So let's do some practice ones. Let's start with some small numbers. Okay. I'm going to use the number 4. And the number sense I'm going to make is 4 plus 2. And I know a lot of us are thinking, well, Mr. Montgomery, we know what 4 plus 2 is, and I'm sure you do, but I'm doing this to as just a little starter, a little warm up, okay? So remember, it doesn't matter which number you want to start with, because you can add in any order, right? That's the cool thing about addition problems. But what I like to do to make sure I stay the same every single time is I will take the first number and I find it on our number line. Okay, so the first number here is 4. I'm going to go to my number line and look and go do, 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 do. I found it. It's right there. So I like to make a circle. Okay, and then the next number in our number sentence tells us the jumps. Let's write that out, the word jumps. That's going to be this guy up here. Okay, he is going to tell you how many times you need to jump. So the first number is where we start. We start at 4. The next number is telling us how many times to jump. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And it's telling us to jump 2 times. So we're going to jump 1, 2, and I stop because I made those 2 jumps. And if you're not sure how many jumps you made, check the bumps. If you wrote on a piece of paper, you can check the little bumps you made. Okay, and we landed on 6. So now I know that 4 plus 2 equals 6. All right, that's all there is to it. Let's do a few more practice ones. And I'm even going to have you guys practice one on your own towards the end, okay? With your communicators and dry erase markers. Okay, let's do a slightly tougher one. Let's do, oh man, let's try 8 plus 3. Since we're doing some bigger numbers now with our adding, let's do 8 plus 3. Okay, remember, so our first number in our number sentence is going to tell us where we start on our number line. So I'm going to look down the number line. Up, there it is. There is my 8. So I'm going to make a nice circle right there. And I'm pretty sure I laminated everyone's number line that was sent home. So guess what? If it's laminated, which means it's all like glossy looking and plastic, you can actually use your dry erase marker on it. How cool is that? Because it will wipe right off. So that's a cool little thing that you guys can do to help yourselves at home. Okay, so I'm going to start with our number 8. And now I got to look at my next number here to find out the jumps. How many jumps? Okay, and he's telling me jump 3 times. So that's what I'm going to do. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to check to make sure I jump 3 times. I see 1, 2, 3 bumps. So I made 3 jumps and I landed on the number 11. So now I know that 8 plus 3 is 11. All right? But what if, oh man, you know what I see sometimes when we're doing math problems and I think, oh no, this looks so much more difficult? Is what if we have like a small number in the front, like 4, and we have to add like a big number like 9? Oh man, because when we see something like this, we're gonna start here, but then there's so many jumps. But don't worry, we can still figure this out, and I'll show you guys a little trick to make problems like this just a little bit easier, okay? So remember, the first number we see is where we start on the number line, and we're going to start at 4. So I'm going to look for that 4, and boom, right there. And this next number tells me how many jumps. Okay, it's going to jump, or you can say hop. That's going to be this guy right there. And it's telling me I have to make 9 jumps from 4. So I put my pencil on the number 4, and now I'm going to start jumping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I stopped because I made those 9 jumps. And I landed on 13. So now I know that 4 plus 9 is 13. But some of you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, Mr. Montgomery. Whoa, hold up, hold up. There was a lot of jumps. And I think there's an easier way to do that. And there is. So if you guys remember from a few lessons ago, we can always add in any order. Okay? So if we see one that's problem says 4 plus 9, we do know that is the same thing as 9 plus 4. Okay, it's the same thing because we are adding the same two numbers. So we're going to double check this, okay? Now watch. We already figured out that 4 plus 9 is 13, right? We already know this. We figured it out. But let's see if this looks just a little bit easier if we always start with a big number. Okay, so our first number is 9. Remember the same thing, all I did was I switched the numbers around because I personally like to start with the biggest number first. And you'll see why in a second. So I'm going to start with 9. I'm going to find it on my number line right here. Okay, make a nice circle. And I'm going to make how many jumps? 4. I'm going to make 4 jumps because that's my second number. All right, so let's do it. I'm going to put my pencil on 9 and make 4 jumps. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? And look what? Look what happened. I still landed on 13. The only difference is, if you look closely, there are a lot less jumps that I had to make. So instead of making 9 jumps, I only had to make 4 jumps. Okay? So that's just something to keep in mind. You can, if we're adding, you can always start with the biggest number so you don't have to make as many jumps. Okay? Let me erase this real quick. Okay. All right, let's try another one. Let's say that we have 5 plus 10. Okay? What if there's 5 plus 10? Well, if we want to keep the numbers just how they look here, well, this is what we can do. We can find our first number, which is where we start. We're going to start on this number 5 up here. And how many jumps am I going to make? I'm going to make 10, because that's what this second number there tells us. It tells us how many jumps we're going to make. Okay, you guys ready? All right, let's try this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and look what I landed on right here. I landed on the number 15. So now I know that 5 plus 10 is 15. Okay, but let's hold on and rewind again. And I know some of you are thinking, hold up, Mr. Montgomery. We can add in any order we feel like it. And you are absolutely right. We can add in any order we feel like it. So if you always like to keep your addition sentences like this, however you see it, that is fine. Don't change anything if it works for you. Okay? I just know some of my friends like to change things up. Okay, we know it's 15. But we can also think, you know what? If I put this 10 first and add in a different order, I won't have to make as many jumps, because 10 is where I'm going to start, and the second number right here, that's how many jumps I'm going to make. So let me go up here to my number line. I can find the number 10, and I did right there. Boom, found it. And I'm going to make how many jumps? Go ahead and just say it right in front of the computer. How many jumps am I going to make? I'm going to make 5 jumps. So if you said 5, good job. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Check it out. I still landed. Excuse me. I still landed on 15. It's the same total, the same whole number, right? The same big number that we're going to get at the end of adding. So we have our 2 parts. The first part is going to tell us where we're going to start on our number line, and the second part here is going to tell us how many jumps. And just like I said before, when you always start on the number line with the biggest number, you're going to have less jumps because you're starting with the bigger number and you're having the small number tell you how many jumps. Either way, you end up with the same answer, okay? All right, let me go ahead and I'm going to erase this. Erase, erase, erase. Okay, now I would love it if you would get uh, your communicators and your dry erase marker, okay? Or if you only have a paper and pencil, guess what? That's fine too. As long as you have something to write on, we're going to do a couple practice problems, okay? All right, let's see. Oh, if you still need some time to go get your things, go ahead, hit the space bar on your computer, or if you're watching us on your Chromebook, you can go ahead and hit the space bar, and guess what? It's going to pause the video. How cool is that? Or you can hit the pause button on the screen. Either way is fine. Okay, if you let the video keep playing, or if you hit the space bar again right now, that means we're gonna keep going, okay? So if you need time, make sure you pause the video. But we're gonna keep going, because if you're still listening, that means you're all set. So let's see. Let's do 6 plus 7. I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds to solve 6 plus 7. Okay? Try doing this one all on your own. And I'm going to sit here quietly while you work. I'll try not to make any noises. Okay, now I gave you guys some time. If you need more time, guess what? You can go ahead and pause the video again, okay? But if you already solved this, well, we're going to go over it together so you can check your work to make sure you got the right answer because this is all just some extra practice, okay? So let's go over this together. Okay, remember the first number? That is our starting number, which is 6. So let's check this. I'm going to find 6 on my number line. Boom, I found it. So that's where I'm going to start. And my second number tells me how many jumps. That's this guy right there. And it's 7. So I put my pencil on 6. And I'm going to make 7 jumps. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I stopped because I made those 7 jumps and I landed on 13. So 6 plus 7 is 13. And you might be thinking, hold on, Mr. Montgomery, I did it a little bit differently. I made less jumps than you, which is fine. And you might have done this the other way, where your starting number might have been 7. Because remember, we can add in any order. So remember, that's 13. And let's see if we get the same answer. So starting number here is 7. Boom. I'm going to start at 7. I found it. I found it. I made it a little dot. Okay. And I'm going to make how many jumps? 6. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I stop and check that out. I still landed on the number 13. So no matter which way you want to add these numbers, you can get the same answer. All right? Let's do one more. I want you to try one more all on your own, okay? So let's go ahead and erase all this. We're going to erase. So if you're using a communicator, make sure you erase that communicator. Give yourself some writing space on there. All right, let's do one more. Okay, this is going to be a really tough one. Okay, guys? This is going to be like the toughest one I can think of. Okay, because I used to get this one wrong all the time when I was a kid. All the time. So I think this would be a great one to practice. Ready? What about 8 plus 9? What is 8 plus 9? Go ahead and use the number line to solve it. All right? I'm going to sit here quietly again and give you guys some time to work on this. I'll try not to be noisy and interrupt you. All right, I gave you guys some time to work on this. If you need more time, that's okay. Go ahead and pause the video real quick. All right? So if you're watching this on your Chromebook, guess what? All you got to do is hit that space bar and it will pause. And then to play the video again, you just hit the space bar again. How easy is that? Or if you're watching this on mom or dad's phone, guess what? You can just tap the screen, hit pause. All right? And when you're all set, just tap the screen again and hit play. Okay? So let's figure this out. So our first number is 8. So that means we're going to start on the number 8. So I'm going to go to my number line. I find our number 8 and boom, I'm going to make a little dot. Okay? And then I look at my second number and it's 9. And that tells me how many jumps I'm going to make. Jumps. I'm going to write jumps so I don't forget. And so you don't forget too. That's how many jumps we're making. All right, you guys ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I stopped because I made those 9 jumps. Oh my gosh, look at all those jumps I had to make. That's so many. And I landed on 17. So now I know that 8 plus 9 is 17. All right, guys? And I know what you're already thinking. I know some of you are thinking this already. You're thinking, Mr. Montgomery, I did it differently. I didn't make 9 jumps. And I'm sure you didn't. You don't have to because we can, of course, add in any order. We could also say, you know what? 9 plus 8. It's the same thing, guys. You have the same 2 numbers. Let's check it out. And we're going to see if we get the same answer because we landed on 17, right? That's where we landed. So let's see if we land on the same number. Except this time we're going to start at 9. And we're going to make how many jumps? How many? How many jumps? I can't hear you. Yell it at the computer so I can hear you. Yell it, yell it, yell it. I'm just teasing. I can't hear you. That's a computer. This is a video I made. Silly. So now we're going to start at 9 and make 8 jumps because we can add in any order we want. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I stop. Check that out. I still landed on 17. So 8 plus 9 is 17, and 9 plus 8 is 17. Okay? I know it wasn't a lot less jumps, it was just 1 less, but you do what makes you happy, and as long as you get the right answer, guys, you can use any method you want. If you think it's easier to use 10 frames, go for it. You can use 10 frames. If you really like using this number line, you can use the number line. That also works. If you know how to make tick marks, maybe I'll do another video on tick marks. A tick mark is kind of like a little picture. I'll show you a little bit right now. So if I want to make 8, I make a little line, right? And every line means 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. When you're about to do 5, you go across. And then 6, 7, 8. All right. And then I do the same thing for 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you just count up all those tick marks and you will still get the same number. I'll do a separate video on tick marks later on, but for now, go ahead and practice the number line because it's sent home. I know you guys have one with you, and here's the cool thing: even if you lost your number line, it's really easy to make your own number line if you lost it. I promise, it's pretty easy to make. All you need is a piece of paper and a pencil. The only trick is you have to make sure you don't write super duper big. All right? Make a line. It doesn't have to be a perfect line. And then you make a little tick mark right there on the line. And we're going to start with 0. Give yourself a small finger space. Make another tick mark. Put a 1. A finger space, tick mark, and then put a 2. A little tick mark, and then put a 3. And then another one, and 4. And you can just kind of keep going all the way up to any number you want. All right, so if you lost this number line, okay, the one I have on my screen is the same one I sent home to everybody. If you lost it, don't worry. You can make a number line on your own, and you can have mom and dad help you too. All right, so don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. Okay, there's always a way to solve any problem. I promise. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, um, you know what? Make sure you ask me at some point during class, or you can ask mom or dad, or you can have mom or dad ask me if you want. Okay? We will figure this out. I just want to make sure you guys are awesome mathematicians and you are feeling very comfortable with adding. Because I know, like I've said before, some of these lessons this week got a little crazy. And the last thing I want is anyone to be confused. As long as you're able to find the right answer, it doesn't matter to me how you solve it, as long as you're happy solving it the way you do. Okay? All right, guys. Well, I will see you in the classroom, and I hope you all have a great day. All right? See you later.